Hello everybody, my name is Pa Alinyam. I am doing a presentation today on routing in opportunities networks. This presentation is a requirement in the advanced network routing module in the MSc Advanced Computer Networks program, University of Derby. This is going to be the table of contents of my presentation today. I'll first give an overview of opportunities networks, and then I'll talk about the types of opportunities networks, the use of opportunities networks, and then I'll look at the routing techniques in opportunities networks. Giving an overview of opportunities networks, I first would like to compare opportunities network with traditional or modern networks we have. If you look at basic network, these traditional networks, two nodes are able to communicate in traditional network because there are established links. Before communication happens in traditional networks, a link has to be established first. Communication link. It might be wireless or wired, but then the link has to be established first. Then the devices will start communication. But in opportunities networks, that's not the case. In opportunities network, devices can communicate without existing links. How they do that is they will use the opportunities contacts they have between neighbors, and then deliver the message to the neighbors as they encounter each other, and then the neighbors will in turn deliver the message to their neighbors, and then eventually the message reaching the destination. In this case, a node wanting to deliver a message will look at the nodes in its neighborhood and check among the nodes which of those neighbors will be most likely able to deliver the message to the respective destination, and then move forward to the node, and then they will also do the same thing until the message is reaching the destination. Okay, so the next hop is selected. In this case, is selected only if the source node feels that the next hop will most likely be able to deliver the message towards the destination or to the destination. Then we will forward the message to that node as the next hop. How do they work? Opportunities network works like this. Let's assume if this node here want to send information to this node, the node here will look at what we call its local knowledge, exploit its local knowledge, and decide among its neighbors who will it deliver the message to. In this case, it finds that maybe this is the node that will most likely deliver the message to the destination because maybe it is closer to the destination. In this case, it forwards it to this, and then this node does the same, forwards it to this, and this node eventually delivers the message to the destination like that. In real life, this is how it works. Let's assume if there is a user here typing a message and sending it to this lady here. This user has a computer and also a tablet or a smartphone. So he types the message gets sent to the smartphone, he gets into the bus, and then the bus drives across town. He's talking on the phone, somebody's passing here by the bike, then the message gets transferred to the guy here because the guy might be having a smartphone or a wireless something device. Eventually the guy riding the bike will also transmit the message to the guy walking his dog, because the guy walking with his dog here has a wireless phone, and then this guy also delivers the message to this guy here because he has a wireless laptop as he walks across him or passes by him. Eventually the guy typing also will deliver the message to the destination. So that's how it works in real life. Types of opportunities networks: we have infrastructure-based opportunities network and infrastructure-less opportunities network. Infrastructure-based opportunities networks have what we call base stations or super nodes, which are basically high-end nodes that have more computing power. They are used to store information and then route information across the network. We have two types of opportunities networks. So we have two types of infrastructure-based opportunities network. We have the fixed infrastructure and then the mobile infrastructure. The difference here between these two is simple. It is the fixed infrastructure uses fixed base stations, while the mobile infrastructure uses mobile base stations. The infrastructureless opportunities network, on the other hand, don't have any base stations, so they don't use any base stations. What they have is in the network are just normal nodes. Uses of opportunities networks. We have they're used in emergency situations, emergency response situations where there are no usable networks, and also in places where network connectivity is very challenging to kind of build, because maybe they are very challenging terrains. They're also used in situations like that, and others as well. Let's look at two examples of real case scenarios where opportunities networks are used. We have the ZebraNet, for example, which is basically a network project developed by Christian University. It's using Kenya to track wild zebras in the forest or in the parks, so that they can easily track the zebras as the zebras encounter each other, because they have wireless tags on them, and then eventually information will be transmitted to a base station. In this case, they can be tracked without disturbing them, and that's definitely a very effective method of knowing how they work, how they live without much intrusion. So that is ZebraNet. We also have the darknet, which is another example where opportunities networks are used to provide internet connectivity in remote areas in Kenya, in India. Sorry, what we have here is those areas are very difficult to actually build networks in them, so they have opportunity network built, like having what we call chaos in specific locations in the villages, and then there are mobile access points mounted on bus stops and bicycles and all that. So communication happens between the chaos and the bus stops. So in this case, information are uploaded and downloaded between this, and then this mobile access point will eventually connect the chaos to the internet as the opportunistically contact each other. So what happened here is a user wanting to send information will come to the chaos maybe, or come closer to the chaos, send the information to the chaos. The chaos will wait for the mobile access point to pass through, and then the information will be uploaded to the mobile access point. The mobile access point will eventually do the same thing until the internet connection, until it reaches the internet. Maybe it will deliver to the internet, or deliver to another mobile access point until it reaches the internet. Once it is downloaded, information is also downloaded the same way. The mobile access point gets information, locates a chaos, deliver it, the chaos delivered to the user. So that's also another very successful project using opportunities networks. Routing techniques in opportunities network. We have basically different techniques using opportunities network routing, but to make it simple, I am going to talk about routing techniques dividing opportunity into two, as we have said earlier, that we have infrastructure-based opportunity network and infrastructureless opportunities network. So routing techniques in infrastructure-based opportunities networks. Infrastructure-based opportunity network uses two types of routing techniques. Basically, they use the node to base station communication, and then the node-to-node routing technique. Node to base station routing techniques basically allow communication to happen only between a node and a base station. In other words, you cannot have two nodes talking together directly. Node-to-node routing techniques allow communication to happen between nodes. So in this case, the communication doesn't need to go through a base station. An example of a model using this is the infostation protocol, or the infostation model, which is used in providing high-speed internet connectivity in disconnected areas. I have detailed the way it works and everything about this protocol, so I'm talking about here in my report. So the infostation model uses the node to base station routing technique. The shared wireless infostation model is an enhanced version of the infostation model. It uses the node to base station routing technique. It also uses, as a matter of fact, the node to node base station, but it is an example of a protocol that uses the node to base station routing technique. So in this case, any node wanted to send information will just deliver the information to a neighboring node. But in the node to base station, any node wanted to deliver information will have to locate the base station and deliver the information to. Infrastructureless opportunities network uses two types of techniques as well: dissemination based and context based. Dissemination based uses flooding to route the information or broadcast information across the network. Context based routing techniques uses like some more intelligent information gathering information, like for example, they will not just scatter the information, broadcast it to all nodes. They will basically first check among the nodes which are most likely to be able to deliver the message to. So for example, they might have to look at nodes that are closer or that frequent to the destination, that more frequently visit the destination, and then they will send the information to those nodes. So they don't broadcast the information directly as to all nodes as the dissemination-based techniques. They will first study the nodes, the neighbors, and check which among them will be most likely able to deliver the message to the destination based on maybe characteristics like home address, places frequented, and all that. Dissemination based, on the other hand, they don't use all that. They just broadcast the message, float it across the network, and hoping that the destination will get it. So if you compare the two, the dissemination based uses they are more likely to, they are faster because information will most likely reach the destination earlier, but at the end of the day, you have a lot of unnecessary information or traffic scattered in the network. Context based delivery in context based might be slow, but they are more efficient in the sense that they don't just broadcast the message across the whole network, so they are more efficient in that form. This is the end of the presentation. It is more detailed in my report. So if you have more information, if you need more additional information, there are more in my report. So thank you very much for viewing.